Hello everyone and welcome back to Indianapolis GenCon. I'm Alex Watkins. I've jumped in for Brooke, who's had to go and do some stuff. Back here with Cameron, and we're getting ready for the next round of the elimination bracket.
Yes, top 16, I believe.
Top 16, all right. So the winner of this gets their free seed at a future Vault Tour. So that's on the line, as well as the Amber Shards and everything else. And we're just going to have a quick look at the deck lists here. We've got Dominic here playing Olga, Nightmare Starfinder, Rome. And we have on the right Dave Cordeiro from Austin, Texas, playing, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Nuvali, the strongly apologetic.
Nuvolari,
yep. Strongly apologetic. We'll go into detail of the list, but they've started now, so let's see what's happening. Dominic starting here with Dis.
Yep.
That looks like a, I can't look at his list, just bring it up in front of me. That is a Ember Imp, I think. No, it's not. It's a...
He's got a Pit Demon.
It's a Pit Demon. And it's...
Schuler?
It might be a Schuler down there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and Bob Nonsense. So this deck that Dominic is playing is a Call of the Archons deck, which has got, let's have a look. It's a Dis Logos Shadows deck, Dusk Runner, Twin Bottle Mission, some pretty cool stuff going on in here.
Yep, he's got 5 wins and 1 recorded loss on the Master Vault, power level 3.
Oh, that's Dave's list. Okay, so that's Dave's list here.
Yeah, Nightmare Starfinder, that's Dominic. And then on Dave's side, he's got Brobnar Shadows and Untamed. A massive record, 22 wins, 3 losses, 3 power.
And this deck, the thing that stands out for us is 5 Urchin to go with the Fagin and the 2 Umbra. And then 3 Poison Waves and a Miasma. That is his Shadow set.
That's it. That is his Shadow Suite.
Pretty awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay. So Dominic here following that up with an Umbra by the looks of it.
Yeah, Umbra on the top there.
They're both Call of the Archons lists here, aren't they? So that should make things a little bit easier for my memory to catch up. And we have a, looks like an Untamed turn coming down over on the right here with a, is that World Tree down already? I think it is.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that in the last match too.
Yeah, return it from discard pile to your hand, return a creature from discard pile to your hand. Untamed, of course, having lots of ways to interact with the discard with cards like Regrowth, which is also in the list.
Yeah, a lot of great recursion in Untamed. Looks like Dave is sitting on 3 Amber and Dominic is on 2. So not an explosive start, but we'll see how things play out here.
Yeah, correct. Looks like it's back over to Dominic. Having a look at his hand, he's got some. He's got a stunned Demon down now. Moving in with Logos, getting Quickso getting in to get some damage through. And here's the Time Traveler, everyone's favorite, redhead after me. I have a lot of fun playing Time Traveler. It was definitely one card that I was looking forward to. That's it. It's like a Twin Bolt Mission. Yep. So what's the wording on Twin Bolt Mission? I think he might have to. Is it deal 2 damage to a creature and deal 2 damage to a different creature? So he'd have to do some damage on his own. So it looks like he's put that on the Schuler.
Dominic right now with the dominant board over Dave.
Yeah, but if you look at Dave's list, I think I think he wants to fall behind with all those Urchins. I mean, further behind he is. I mean, he wants his opponent to have Amber so he can drop all these Urchins down. He's having a quick count of creatures, but looks like trying to, maybe he's looking at what he's in his list. He has some ways that cares about guessing card house. I can't see anything that jumps out to me there.
Okay, looks like Dave is going Brobnar here.
Loot the bodies. The well-known Brobnar chant of loot the bodies, hit the floor. So remainder of the turn, game on Amber each time an enemy creature is destroyed, and he's followed that up with Coward's End by the looks of it. Destroy each undamaged creature. So he's going to get a bunch of Amber from that. And
great
just
play.
Leave the Schuler. So good job he did deal some damage to his own Schuler there last turn. He managed to keep it in play. Otherwise he'd been completely gone.
So Dave netting a bunch of Amber there, sitting on check.
It's like he's marking chains on his deck using some counters. Nice and easy for us to see here on the stream, which is useful.
I also like putting some kind of a reminder on my deck instead. You know, it's you can't really forget if it's sitting on your deck.
Yeah, so. you have to move it every time you're drawing a card. You're going to remember to draw fewer. So wondering here now what Dominic's play might be. He's just fallen behind massively on Amber. He has a good Shadow Suite himself. Old Bruno's in the deck. And here we're seeing he's actually going to destroy... He's doing damage to his own Shuler to steal. That's an interesting strategy with the Nerve Blast. And there's Relentless Whispers.
Yep.
So is he just... Shuler under the bus to get some steal on, to get some Amber Exchange there. I quite like that.
Yeah.
And if he's in Shadows here, he may have, as a Skeleton Key, he didn't have he couldn't stop him forging, so he didn't have access to maybe Noddy the Thief probably wouldn't have helped him. But he has access to things such as Too Much to Protect.
Right.
Which is pretty key at times as well, which would have been great. And
yeah.
If he, that would have been great. If he could have done that and then done the turn he just did, that would have been pretty massive.
But now Dave is one up on keys. We'll see if Dave can stop Dominic from forging here.
Yeah, I like this. Dave taking the time to make sure he's had a glance at this deck list. He may have seen it in day one. We don't know if these guys played or not. And he's having a good look through that discard pile, getting as much information as he can. And then he's going to go with Shadows. Oh, here we go. Oh, here comes the Oliver Twist army.
Here we go. How many are we going to get?
Just 2 of them. Okay. Not all of them. And
Umbra.
An Umbra.
And I'm going to
See.
pass to you. I will go down to 1 change and I will draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So he's now down at 1 chain. So that's two of the chains shifted from the Coward's End. Oh, and a disc coming in there to get rid of 1. And 3 Fates to get rid of the other 3.
Oh,
that's
boy.
pretty nice. Fagin getting a chance to start bouncing those guys back to hand would have been annoying.
Yeah. All right, Dominator bobbles out. We saw Dominic on stream yesterday, and he certainly knows how to pilot this deck, so it'll be fun to see him go to work here.
Dominator Bauble is a fantastic card. To me, you get a lot of times where you're sitting there with Dis and you're able to disrupt your opponent's flow, but you can't do anything yourself.
Right.
So having a Dominator Bauble out at least lets you use something that's already out, gives you something else to do other than just lash and just mind barb. It gives you something extra to do. Not that lashing and mind barbing is a bad thing to be doing.
I love effects that kind of allow you to cheat in using other houses like the ambassadors and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've seen any of those on the stream myself.
We just saw one in the last round. I don't think he was around very long to do much, but yeah, I love those cards.
All right, so we have a War Drummer coming down.
Fire Spitter.
Fire Spitter. There's a forefront, deal 1 damage to each enemy creature, which would be a good effect. And he's discarded burn the stockpile, which he doesn't need right now.
War Drummer is so good.
Oh yeah.
Once you get that Brahmanar machine going, it's pretty nasty.
It's pretty powerful. I was just trying to see what else he has in there that helps with it. And he hasn't got a huge number. He's got Bumpsy, which is a nice one to be able to return back and get a second hit out of. Smash isn't a bad target for War Drummer either.
Yep.
So it's back over to Dominic here. I'm trying to look at his hand. He's got a hand full of shadows. Looks like Dusk Runner I saw in his hand. I couldn't quite make out the other things. Just glancing over, but he's forging his key.
Tie game now.
Yeah. Tied game, only 2 amber difference. He's now going to have a good look at his opponent's discard pile. So he's got a lot of those shadows cards in hand. I'm pretty sure I saw Dusk Runner. Possibly old Bruno in there as well.
We saw Dominic doing this a lot yesterday as well, kind of analyzing his opponent's cards in their discard pile, and it really paid off. I mean, he's here. He's in the top 16 for a reason. So
he's got the Aspen Noddy the Thief in his hand as well. Just going to make those out on this little screen here in front of me. Can't quite tell what else he's got in there. Looks like it might be a pawn sacrifice in his hand, I think.
Okay, Noddy's out.
And there's the Asp. And he puts Duskwin on the Asp. I like that play. That's now a super utilized card. He can utilize it in multiple ways. It's a poison creature. It's got skirmish, and now if he has got nothing to go kill, he's just going to be reaping and stealing. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and then there's the pawn sacrifice to get rid of to get some damage out on the other side of the board. So it was a pawn sacrifice he had in there.
Being able to reap and steal simultaneously is so powerful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just run away with it.
Yeah, and if he needs it, he's got a skirmish poison, which is just great.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting to see if Dave decides to focus on removing that, or if he's just got a different battle plan himself. Looks like he's got a couple of dust pixies in hand, so he's going to be going for a full amber generation this turn, I think.
Yep.
Which
forward.
might be playing into Dominic's mind if he's going to argue, that's more for me to steal.
Cooperative hunting.
Cooperative hunting, yeah.
I love that card.
That's a good way to get rid of the asp, so he did make sure he got rid of it before it could start going crazy. So he's lost his chains.
Yep.
Back up to full hand. And we have... Is that a miasma in his hand? He's got a help from future self. So he can go digging for his time traveler over there, Dominic, if he needs to. He's going to get a bit of amber and drawing. Looks like the Sting was the other card, the Shadows card he had in his hand that he decided not to put down, and possibly a miasma. So the Archon miasma.
Which miasma?
Oh no, that's not a miasma in his hand. I couldn't quite work out what it was. Oh, it's too much. It is too much to protect you in his hand. Okay. So he plays out the Positron Bolt. Get some damage across the board there. Get some amber. And here comes help from our second favorite redhead. I love that card. I love how it works.
And he does have a Tentacus there on the board, if that wasn't clear, which the creature's ability is your opponent must pay you 1 amber in order to use an artifact, so kind of locking off that world on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, right now in such a balanced, close game, passing up an amber, you really want to be popping that world tree when it's going to net you the most you can possibly get.
Yeah.
Shuffling up, doing it the correct way. Help from future self does not get shuffled back in. That would be pretty busted if it did. Just ends up in the discard pile after the resolution.
Yeah.
And there we go. Get some more amber and draw some cards. Excellent. And looks like he drew into at least one more Logos card there. Had 2 more Logos cards, in fact. Looks like Quixo was one of them. So out comes Quixo. And can't quite make out what the other card is he's got in his hand.
Brad yesterday had some kind of weird fascination with Quick, so I didn't understand it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he get super excited every time?
He got
Quixo
very
came out?
excited. I don't get it. It's kind of weird, actually. So I just kind of like to move on.
I'm a little bit worried about it. Maybe I should have a quiet chat with him and make sure he's okay.
Yeah. It's a little concerning.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So Dave having a good look at his discard pile. Make sure he knows what his options are. He's got the key charge in hand. I'm not sure if he's able to make enough amber to utilize it. Looks like he has got a miasma in hand as well.
Okay.
Not that that's particularly useful right now.
Sure.
So nature's cool.
Yep.
He actually got himself to 7 mana by getting that. Now he's going to key charge his second key. Very nice.
Sorry, what gave you the last amber when you bounced the creatures?
He had a captured amber.
Nice. Judge just making sure he had 7.
So Dave going up to 2, just like that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big step ahead. And then he's going to go returning something to his hand. I imagine it's a Dust Pixie at this point. Oh, he's going for Archon. Okay, setting up a play on a future turn.
He wants to hold his opponent back from even forging a second key. Makes sense. So I think Dominic is in a tough spot now.
Yeah, Dave said that's a pretty big turn for Dave. I mean, any turn you're key charging always feels powerful.
Yeah.
It depends here how much can Dominic really apply pressure or generate some amber on this turn. It looks like he's
got a lot of shadows.
He's got a lot of shadows, but I'm not sure they're really going to help him. The Dusk Runner he can't put on anything to utilize straight away, and he has no amber anyway. So that might be a bit slow for him. It looks like his Logos or his well, actually he's got a lot of bonus amber in his hand. So whichever house he picks, he has an opportunity to gain something out of. Be interesting here. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duskrunner doesn't really have a good creature to put it on right now. I'm not sure putting on a Time Traveler while you're helping future self in discard pile, because that just makes it even sweeter for Dave if he manages to get rid of him.
And Capture's not going to do any good right now, or Steal. Dave's just sitting on 2 keys, no extra amber. So
great way to deal with the Shadows deck is just not give them anything to steal and just key cheat.
Great strategy.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure as he has any other way to get that key charge back in his hand. I didn't see the seed. No, I don't think he does. He's got the Witch of the Eye.
I love that card.
Yeah, so he does have a way, potentially in the future, to get it back to his hand without having to shuffle it back in. So it looks like Quixo came down. Is that another? Has he got more than one Quixo in his deck then? Or is it? Oh, it's the one that got returned to his hand, right? So it's the same Quixo. Not giving his opponent any extra information there.
So yeah, I think he's just looking at his handful of Steal and Capture and probably frustrated.
Yeah, and hoping that it's not going to go too far. Is it Poison Wave? 2 damage to everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's got 3 of those in his deck.
Yeah, great card.
Yeah. 3.
Oh, it's just
that is nasty.
3 Urchins. A number.
Okay.
They always seem to come around together when you see Urchins and numbers. It's like, I'm going to steal some now, and I'm going to steal some later.
Yeah.
And these little guys are going to annoy you.
So I'm sure we'll see Dominic push back here.
Yeah, at least he's got some amber to play with now.
Yeah.
Duskrunner's going to go into Quixo.
Okay.
He can't use Quixo this turn, though, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But he does have a too much tech. Just playing it for the amber.
Yeah, I think he just wants to cycle through some cards here.
Yep, just discarding the Sting. Yeah, his opponent's filled Gradforge's last key. The Sting is not much use on the board when you're behind 2. To capture onto Quixo as well. Feels very temporary because I feel the Umbra is just going to come in there and
just
take that straight back. Well, the Umbra can just fight it, skirmish, steal.
Yep.
Yeah, this could just be a Shadows Reap Fest and Steel Fest here. Oh no, he's going with Bob now. He's going to use Anger, which will probably still get the effect by utilizing Umbra to just take out Quixo, get the Amber back. And another quick look at his discard pile. There's not much in there, but he's going to have another look just to be sure. I'm wondering what he's following up here with his Brobnar. He has a Bumpsy, which is discard. Smash is in there as well. They're playing stun. There's nothing from the stun, so he probably doesn't want to play a Smash right now. He'll have to stun one of his own creatures. But yeah, Bumpsy would be a pretty good guy to put down. Oh, and he's putting the Javelin down.
Okay, Dave now on 7 amber. More than enough to make the key.
Yeah. So can Dominic keep him? See, Dominic's just about keeping on from forging his 3rd key, but he's not really getting anywhere himself at the same time. And in his hand is he's got some Dis. He's got a Miasma, so he can Nerve Blast Miasma here. So he can get some. And then Miasma. Yeah. Another turn. Okay. So
again, just kind of stalling.
Yeah.
Without making any progress otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And the World Tree only being able to grab a creature is going to stop him being able to key charge anyway this turn. Yeah, I've seen people complain when people constantly look at discard piles. I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's hard to keep track of, and even though only a couple extra cards have gone back in, we don't do note-taking with FFG games, so the open information is open information.
Sure.
Should be checked each time. I think both players have done a very good job of communicating what's going on as well.
It's been very clear, very clean.
So here's the Witch of the Eye.
Yep.
So there is, if that survives for any length of time.
And we got Ink of the Spider.
Yep.
Then I'm going to play 2 Nocturnal Maneuvers just for the hammer.
Oh, jeez. So you had to stun a creature. He's happy to stun one of his Urchins. And he's going to World Tree the Dust Pixie back to hand. Of course. He decides not to play it. That's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. He decided not to play it. I guess he doesn't want to give too much away if there's ways for it all to disappear. He just wants to have options to still race next turn.
Yeah. I think he's far ahead enough to where, he's comfortable without going bonkers right now.
Yeah, eggs in one basket comes to mind. If he'd gone all in, that could have been, if there was a way to somehow get rid of it, it wouldn't want to be there. Well, Bruno's going to come in and capture 3.
Sure.
He's going to capture 4 by the looks of it with the skeleton key.
Seems good.
Yeah. And that's it. Well, that extra 2 amber would have been enough. Now, which of the Eye is going to bring key charge back to hand almost certainly. Now he's going to dust pixie key charge. So yeah, he was setting up for next turn.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
And that will be game. Yep, there we go. And congratulations to Dave there. Yeah, great use. Classic example. That's why he was planning his next turn. He was saying, deal with it. You probably can't. I think what he was saying there is you can't deal with my key and deal with the witch.
Right.
So you're going to, if I put it down in the order I did it there, then whichever one he deals with, I key charge.
You've got to back up. Yeah.
I key charge or I forge because you haven't dealt with the amber. So I think that was that's an example of a player who knows what he's doing a lot better than we do, or at least I do. And planning the setup much better.
Yeah, I just see cards in my hand and I'm just like, I'll play this, play that. It's an untamed card. Why wouldn't I?
I play all the cards in this house at the same time, don't I? That's how it works.
I can draw. It's fine.
So I just want to talk a little bit more about Dave's deck.
Sure.
We saw a lot of the urchins. Just so people, he has 5 urchins. 6 urchins.
5
urchins.
5 urchins, 2 umbras, 3 poison waves.
And a Fagin and Miasma.
Yeah.
That's a really strong shadow setup. We know shadows is strong. Steel is very strong in quality Archons.
He's got 2 dust pixies as well to just go push on the amber. I think, out of these houses in his deck, I think Brobnar is probably the weaker package here, but still some good effects to deal with some board control and stuff like that.
Well, we saw him utilize Burn the Stockpile and Coward's End.
Yeah.
With big amber gain off of that. So there are plenty of options there. They can utilize the Brobnar cards that are there. And there's a pretty good removal with Mighty Javelin there as well. Fire Spit is pretty decent when it comes out and does things. Like, these creatures aren't bad.
Sure.
And Anger, just to utilize a steal effect like we saw him do with Umbra. So yeah, it's to say that it's the worst of the 3 and still be able to say good things about pretty much most of the cards in there. Yeah, he's got a punch as well. Yeah, of course he has.
He's got that record to prove it too. So we're gonna get him here on stream real quick and get an interview with us with Dave. So.
All right, great. So we'll be back in just a minute. I'll give us a cue. All right, welcome back. I am here with Dave. We just saw win his top 16 game. Dave, congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent. So you're into the top 8. I think I just surprised you a little bit by saying you now have a free seat at a future Vault Tour.
Yeah, I top 8'd Denver, and I don't think that was part of that. So that must be a new thing, and I'm pretty excited about that.
It should have been. So you now have 2 in the bank. So both of them. So we haven't announced much further after this yet. It's coming. We have Madrid coming up. But we'll be announcing more in the U.S. Is there whereabouts are you from, and would there be one you'd like to go to if you could pick some? I mean,
yeah, I'm from Austin, Texas. We have a pretty strong Keyforge scene. I know actually yesterday the Vault Tour, I got to round 3 before it wasn't looking like one of my local Chainbound events.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just going against people I play against locally, and I'm like, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people in Austin and like Houston and stuff. So something in Texas is kind of nice. It's it's a big state, but
yeah. We've noticed. That's all I'm going to say for now. We're announcing some other dates and things in the future, but I think we'll be good for you there. So the deck you chose today. So you're part of Team ReapOut.
I am.
Okay, so we had Devin on yesterday, who we spoke to as well from Team ReapOut, who won yesterday. So we talked a little bit about prep for these events. So I'm curious what prep you went to end up with this deck and how far out you have made this decision. I know Devin was still deciding the day before.
Right.
Is this one, I mean, looking at win-loss record, you've clearly played it a lot.
I have. So this deck, I ended up picking it up probably like early January, late December, something around there. Early on, there was I played a fair amount of Keyforge online, and it was doing pretty well there. I just thought the deck looked really awesome with, having, first time I read the deck, I thought it had 7 Urchins because it's got 2 Umbras.
Yeah.
And apparently I can't read and count at the same time. But yeah, Urchin I think is one of the strongest cards in the first set in Shadows. If you count by like card distribution, it has the most, in the events I was looking at, it had the most number of copies of cards per like Shadow deck. It was like double bait and switch or whatever. And at this point, it's almost strictly better than bait and switch, so I'm glad I have 5 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that one I went 5-0 in Denver, but it was survival, and I wanted to play my second deck day 2 because I had a better matchup against lands because it had like Poltergeist and a Speed Sigil and a Nexus.
Okay.
And it also had Time Traveler, Library Access, and Reverse Time, so it was like a combo deck that didn't need the artifact, and it had removal for the opposing combo decks. So I felt that was a better meta call. But I felt bad because this deck technically earned power level 5, but didn't get it because I conceded to play the second deck. And I'm glad it got its second shot today.
Well, it's going to jump up for sure today. Now you're into the top 8. So not only that Fagan and 5 Urchin, but Umbra. And I always seem to see when I play this game, Urchin always seems to follow with Umbra. And it's such a 1-2 punch. It's, hey, I'm going to steal one now, I'm going to steal one later.
Yeah.
And your ability to use anger and things to utilize it like you did at the end there just to push you
Right.
over.
Some people don't like the Brobnar in this deck, but it actually has a lot of synergy with the the Umbras and the off-house fighting and anger, Brothers in Battle, and Follow the Leader. So you can get a little extra value there with that. And I think that Brobnar is very important for board control. A lot of people really focus on how much amber can it gain and how much amber can it steal, but you really do need to keep your opponent's board in check. As far as prep, you mentioned that earlier. I knew because of the seeding who I'd be playing against round 1, and I knew what deck they would be playing because they were on a feature match earlier. So I basically just took some blank cards from a different game in a Sharpie, and I put his deck together and played it 5 times. And I discovered basically the 2 ways that you lose the matchup is either getting locked out with Restringantus or by not getting good value out of your Coward's End. I think there was one match where they didn't have much, and I just discarded the Coward's End, but I know that you never do that. You hold it and wait. I got fortunate this time that I drew it with the Loot the Bodies, and I could just do it immediately without
it was great,
that much thinking. But yeah, so I wanted to play around that, so I was holding removal spells and just keeping in mind that those are the ways that the matchup goes poorly for me, and if it doesn't go that way, I just kind of have a lot more ways to swing the amber balances.
So you prepped specifically for this matchup. You had a real good idea.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's one of the beautiful things about Archon is that the information's out there. The deck lists are there. So that was pretty interesting. Now, the Untamed Suite, we saw you key charge twice, which is something we've seen multiple decks do. That last turn I want to quickly go through, because when you returned the Dust Pixie to hand, and we were like, I didn't, and actually post check my thinking was about right. Was that an element of you going, well, I've got check, and I've got a Witch. He probably can't deal with both.
Oh,
or was that the thought process?
World Tree puts it on top of the deck, so I had to draw it.
Right. Okay, so I missed that. That'd be one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the idea with that turn was he has to get me off of check, which I knew his only thing left was Old Bruno to do that. But if he goes Shadows with the removal that was left, Witch of the Eye wasn't going to get answered. So with the Dust Pixie in my hand, I would have enough to still key cheat, and I was just trying to set that up.
Perfect. Great. And so that was really insightful for us. Great. Thanks for talking us through the practice stuff. How confident are you feeling right now, bearing in mind you're pretty much unbeaten with this deck now throughout?
Yeah, its Vault Tour record is 10-1.
Okay, so confident going into
11-1.
11-1,
yeah,
right. Yes, I now to 11-1. Confident?
Yes. The person I believe I'm going to be going against in the top 8 is the person I lost to yesterday, but it was a very close match, and I think that it could go either way, so that's going to be pretty exciting to see how that plays out.
And the extra information you've had of having one chance at it, you have a better idea of his deck.
Yeah.
We saw you do a lot of looking at your opponent's discard pile, something I do a lot of when I play as well.
Yes.
Open information is open information. We don't do note-taking, so
right.
I think I was good strategy for you to always know what's going on.
With the help from Future Self, because it shuffles resources back into the deck, it's kind of important to keep track of which resources they've gone through, because you have your opponent's deck list, and I think I had like maybe 33 of the cards memorized, so I was like, all right, what's left? Like, oh yeah, they shuffled back, what do I have to play around again? Because especially like, there's phase shift in that and ways to draw cards and the too much to protect. So even if the too much to protect is already used, that's not really safe because they can help from Future Self, then like draw it again and like phase shift it out there. So that's just something to be careful for. So I was just trying to keep an accurate count of what I had seen and what I hadn't seen.
All right, excellent. Well, Dave, thanks so much for stopping by. Best of luck with the rest of your games. I'm going to let you go and take a bit of a breather. And maybe we'll see you on the stream of the final.
All right, yeah, hopefully. If I win the whole thing, I'm getting a chair.
Oh, well, you already have enough?
Nah, I need 500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be close.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Thanks very much. We'll be back in just a moment with the next game.